Hey there, fellow hungry travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're in Marion, Indiana. And today we're going to talk about what tourists should eat when they come here to Indiana. And yes, Indiana is famous for its corn. And what you might not realize is a lot of the popcorn you're eating at the movie theater, or maybe you're having right now at home while you're watching YouTube or whatever, is actually made here in Indiana. And the popcorn in Indiana is fantastic. And whether you're getting the cheese and caramel mix, or you're just getting buttered popcorn, or maybe with chocolate drizzled on top, the popcorn here is fantastic. But also, it's not just a popcorn for the corn in Indiana. If you're getting the sweet corn, corn on the cob when you're here is so good. When you're driving through Indiana, I'll tell you, you'll see signs up that says, oh, sweet corn for sale, sweet corn for sale. You literally can go to the side of the road and buy sweet corn from people, and it's so good. But don't forget, make sure you got your corn butter, so whether you roll it or you smear it on there, you're ready to go, because the corn here in Indiana is something you really have to have. But let's be honest, when you think about going out to eat, you don't think about popcorn and sweet corn. What you think about is meat. I need food that's gonna make me full. And I'm gonna tell you right now, probably the biggest thing you're gonna see to eat when you come here to Indiana are the breaded pork tenderloins. Now you'll see at the restaurants and at the bars and the pubs, they'll say tenderloin. And you'll see this big tenderloin. It's beaten pork tenderloin, beaten down, breaded, then fried on a bun. And literally the bun will be like this big, and then sometimes the tenderloin is like the size of a platter at a cafeteria. It can be huge. That's the big one. If you get the normal one, it's like more of a normal size. But if they offer you the big tenderloin, you better be ready for a big tenderloin. But it's so good. You can put whatever you want on it, but if you're going to put ketchup on it, I do want to tell you this. Here in Indiana, go for the red gold ketchup. That's the Indiana ketchup. I love my Heinz, but I got to respect my Indiana people and go with the red gold when I am here, because that's their ketchup. But honestly, breaded fried pork tenderloins are fantastic when you're here. You really need to have one, or two, or three, whether it's a pub, a drive-in, wherever. Now, another Indiana kind of meaty thing you might want to have when you're here, and this is one you're going to find more like a cafe, pub kind of thing versus like a fancy restaurant kind of thing, and that's going to be beef Manhattan. And if you're not sure what beef Manhattan is, imagine, how do I explain this? It's calling it a roast beef and mashed potato sandwich with gravy on top makes it sound silly, but really it's like bread with mashed potatoes and bread and the roast beef on there, and they put the gravy on top. It's a wet mess, but it's really, really good, and you're going to find it, especially in smaller towns at cafes. You'll see that. That's something that's very Indiana as well. But also, you're going to realize when you come here, there is an Amish community here that is here. There's a lot of Germanic history here as well, so you get a lot of different fantastic foods, like hearty foods when you're here. And one thing I want to tell you about, fried chicken with mashed potatoes and gravy, yes, and the corn, you can't go wrong with that. If you see that, go for it, okay? Because they do good with their fries and their mashed potatoes here when they are good. And their gravy is fantastic, and that's why I got to talk about the next thing you have to have when you come here. And this is more of a morning treat, and it's biscuits and gravy. Look, the biscuits here, don't think Southern biscuits, think more of a moister biscuit when you're here, but the thing is, the gravy that goes with it, you can't go wrong. So you go to a breakfast place, a pancake place, well, you should get pancakes, Mark. It's a pancake place. No, y'all, biscuits and gravy, they love them here in Indiana, so go for that. And the thing is, in terms of biscuits and gravy kind of stuff, you want like fried biscuits. Down in Nashville, you hear people talk about this, but someplace you'll see they'll just fry up little biscuits and roll it in cinnamon sugar. It's like homemade donuts kind of things. You can get that. There's so many good, like, sweet treats when you are here. And I'm going to tell you, if you want to have the official Hoer Pie, yes, Hoer Pie, or you might want to call it sugar cream pie. Yeah, it's literally sugar, cream, and vanilla. Think of like a custardy pie. You're going to have that, and you'll see it at some of the cafes. I mean, sometimes you can pick it up like at a Meijer. They might have it in their bakery section that's out there, but that's something that's very much a Hoosier eat, okay? So the Hoer Pie, the sugar cream pie, you can't go wrong with that. Some people also like to get persimmon pudding. Now, persimmon pudding, some people think, well, pudding, you mean like Jell-O pudding, Mark? No. Think of it more like bread pudding consistency, like a moist cake made with a persimmon flavor. You're going to have that. You don't find it all over the place, but if you do, definitely get a slice. Or I would say probably get a square. Now, when you think of Indiana, you more think of like flat farmland and not like rivers or anything fish related. But honestly, here, they just some decent fish you can get. Obviously, I'm going to tell you this, it's probably going to be fried, and probably going to see like fried catfish, fried walleye, fried perch. Look, just get it. If it's on the menu, especially on Fridays, you see it on the special, definitely get it. You might get a fish sandwich or just the fried fish on the side with your coleslaw and mashed potatoes. You can go that way. I mean, there's a lot of options with that fried fish that is something they do well when you are here. And I will tell you, eating healthy is not easy when you come to Indiana, when you go for the traditional foods. I mean, if you're going to go to Indianapolis, you're going to Mass Avenue, you've got, a lot of different international fare there, a lot of cultural stuff. You have a lot of different, you get Peruvian food in Indianapolis, you get all kinds of stuff around, but you're going to get a lot of food when you're here in Indiana. They're going to fill you up. And if you are in Indianapolis, one thing I'm going to tell you is Indianapolis is famous for its steakhouses, okay? So get a steak when you're in Indy. My dad still talks about when he used to work in Indianapolis. He would love going there because he knew he'd get a great steak every single night, so you can do that. And if you're looking to get like a starter when you're in Indianapolis, get St. Elmo's shrimp cocktail, okay? St. Elmo's shrimp cocktail, the sauce. The shrimp is the shrimp, but the sauce, it's like a really spicy shrimp cocktail sauce. It is really good. I mean, if you're flying out of Indianapolis, you can't get into town to have it. They actually have it at one of the restaurants in the airport. You can have it when you're there and eat that. Okay, so you have that. But yeah, the St. Elmo's shrimp cocktail, it does have a little bite to it. It is a little spicy, but I love it that way because you really feel that you're eating it. I remember I had it with my parents, and literally I was having it. I could feel the horseradish coming through my nose. I'm like, yes, I'm alive eating my shrimp cocktail. I mean, you're going to love that when you're here. The thing is, when you're thinking of steakhouses, you think fancy. When you come to Indiana, there's a lot of very informal places to eat, okay? Restaurants, bars, pubs, taverns, all kinds of things, mom and pop restaurants, especially in the small towns. You have a lot of them when you're around. You also have these things called drive-ins. And no, it's not the drive-in movie theater. It's a drive movie you really drive in. But I'll tell you, we'll go to one here in Marion, and I'll tell you about it. Now, when you're going around Indiana, one thing I'm going to tell you is don't pass up the drive-ins when you're here. When you come and you'll drive and you pull in, it's not a drive-in movie theater. It's a drive-in that you drive in and park. They come and take your order. You get burgers, you get those tenderloins, those big tenderloins. You can get that. Fries, shakes, all kinds of fun things. But it's one of those things you don't see around a lot of places in the U.S. anymore. They still have them here. And sometimes it's kind of set up like this, or sometimes you'll see almost like a kiosk that used to be like a gas station where they'll be selling food out of. Don't worry, pull over, grab some grub there because it is pretty good. So just one of those tips when you're eating here in Indiana. And the thing is, it's just fun food to get. Liam loved his fried corn dogs. He loved his grilled ham and cheese. My burger, I had an onion burger, which was great. Jocelyn had fried shrimp with shrimp cocktail. I mean, she had that. You have all these fun things you can get when you're there. You can bring it with you if you need your car. I mean, just a fun thing to do. And you'll see all these little places around that you don't feel like it's just chain restaurant after chain restaurant after chain restaurant. I mean, I live in Illinois, and Illinois is kind of taken over by the chain restaurants, whereas here in Indiana, you still get those mom and pop places. You get those drive-ins. You get those little chains when you're around here in different parts of the state. It's really kind of a fun thing to do. And so that's why I got to tell you, whenever you're going to go to the Indianapolis 500, or you're going to Indiana Dunes, you're going to have some really fun opportunities to eat and enjoy yourself when you are here. Now, if you're in Indiana, there is a national chain that does a bit better than other places around the country, and that's Steak and Shake. So if you're in Indiana and you see a Steak and Shake, you want a kind of a fast food place, that's the one to go to. And the thing is, if you're in Indiana, they do have a lot of craft breweries you can have when you're here, but honestly, you want to get something that's more of a craft beer, but it's not a beer. Triple X root beer, yeah, it was on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. I mean, it's a famous kind of drive-in you can go when you're here. But also they make the root beer, but you get the root beer in different parts of the state. So have that and have some of those local things. So when you do go to that bar, you do go to that pub, ask them, hey, you got anything made from around here? And there probably is. I mean, we've been driving all over the state. We're seeing breweries, we're seeing distilleries that have food or drink just to have a good time and have a drink and have it simple and enjoy our time here in Indiana. So what are some things you think people should eat when they come here to Indiana? Please let us know in the comments below. So we know there's more than just tenderloins and fantastic popcorn when they come here. Anyway, I wish you all the best. I'll say bye from here in Marion, Indiana, right in front of Frank Lloyd Wright House. If you want to learn more about this, Jocelyn actually have a video on that on one of our other channels. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. Indiana, you're going to eat till you explode. Bye.